Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm all about the turkey. Today I'm going to show you how to make the most amazing, delectable, and easy turkey with just a few ingredients, and it's going to be so freaking amazing. It's going to be blowing your mind. That's how good this is. Juicy, tender, nothing worse than a dried turkey. If you need gravy to sop it up with or swallow it, it's too dry. Very simple. I'm going to show you my method that I've been using for years, and it's never let me down. Typically, I don't stuff my birds. I leave my turkey with just some aromatics on the inside, and it's all about flavoring the meat and keeping it moist. So to start us off, first things first, I'm going to talk about my rub, or what I'm going to use to actually flavor and moisten the bird. And for this, very simply, I'm going to take 2 sticks, or the equivalent of 2 sticks of salted butter. Very important here. Salted because you don't want to go too chintzy on the salt on a bird this size. This is like a 15-16 pound turkey, so you want to just be generous with that. Along with this, I'm going to take some dried rosemary, and I'm going to use about a tablespoon of dried rosemary, and I'm just going to put it into my butter. Some fresh cracked black pepper that goes into this as well. Some garlic, of course. About 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. Nice flavor. Keeps it going. Sweet paprika. This is actually going to give you a nice, even though it's sweet, it's going to bring out a smokiness to this, and it's going to give you a depth of flavor that's really, really good. And of course, sage. So I'm going to just chop up my sage, not too finely, but enough that basically you'll be able to know that it's there. So that goes in just like that. Perfect. And some salt. Even though my butter is salted, I'm still going to add a little more because it's turkey and it can handle the flavor. Plus, you're going to be roasting this off for about 3.5 hours. So there's nothing like going in with your hands. And what you're going to do is just mix this with your hands as evenly as you can, getting everything kind of incorporated in here. And this is basically our flavor base, or our flavor profile for our turkey. So I'm a big fan of working with my hands without any gloves. A lot of people will use those acrylic gloves, and that's fine. You know, rubber gloves are cool if you're, getting a prostate exam, but if you're cooking, just use basically your hands. So this is a little messy, but not a big deal. I'm going to take this, I'm going to move this off here, and what I'm going to do now is move our guest of honor, which is this baby right here. How cool is this? This makes me happy. Like, this is really, really awesome. So this is a 15.5, 16 pound bird, fresh, organically grain-fed, yada, yada, yada. Get the best bird you possibly can. It does make a difference in terms of the taste and the overall flavor. And you know what? You may pay a little more, but it's definitely worth it. And let's face it, you don't eat turkey every day, so this is when you want to kind of go out and splurge. So for this is a little bit of the tricky part here that I'm going to show you how to do here. And I'm going to turn this around actually to get you really immersed in this. In the cavity here we're going to fill later, but for now you have the breast up here and you have the skin. Now in between the breast and the skin is like a little area where you're going to have to take just your hand and very carefully, this is very important, without actually breaking the skin, move your hand inside this cavity here. Get your mind out of the gutter. This is like, just move it to separate the skin from the breast. Just like that. Oh, that feels good actually. Never mind, that's another episode. But anyway, so this is what you're gonna do. And you're gonna do this on the other side as well. And be as careful as you can. There is some forgiveness to the skin, so that's okay. And just move your hand. Look at this. Oh my God, oh help me, I can't get out. But anyway, so that's, just do this right now. All right, perfect. So now we've separated the skin from the breast. And the other thing I'm doing as well, hygiene is like super important. Always use a different cutting board from what you're gonna be using to have other stuff on it or veggies, especially if it's porous. Acrylic, non-porous, very hygienic for poultry, raw pork, that type of thing. So now, going back to this, we have this kind of deliciousness here. And what you're gonna do is take a generous, make sure it doesn't go away, take a generous handful of this. And what you're gonna do is sneak this up. See how I've separated the skin? Move that right inside there in that cavity and just push it through. So let me just spin this around carefully so you can see. I've actually moved this and I filled this whole cavity between the breast and the skin with this butter mixture. This, as this bird roasts off, is going to be so amazing. It's going to melt into the meat and flavor the meat. Take a little more here, just like that, for the other side. And again, I'm going to turn this around, just like that. And I'll show you. Just move that inside. Just slide that in there. Just like that. And move it. All inside this breast area here. And that's fantastic. So here we have this here going in. Now we're going to take some more of this and we're just going to smear it and slather it all over our bird. The chicken wings, the wings, the turkey wings, everywhere. Alrighty, so now that I've washed up a bit, what I'm going to do is take a little more salt and a little bit more pepper and kind of sprinkle a little bit over my turkey. And as well, get inside as well. That's not, nothing wrong with that. In fact, you want to energize it with a bit of flavor in there as well. Give it another generous coating of pepper. Nothing wrong, you can't go wrong with the pepper. It works really, really well with this. And even if you go a little heavier, that's totally cool. Now, this is the kicker. What I'm going to do now is just carefully transport my turkey from here into my pan. And I've got a grill on my pan, or kind of like a rack underneath. Oh, by the way, I also use the neck and the innards, like the heart and whatever here. A lot of people, especially Greeks, around this time of year, they really enjoy the innards as well as the neck. So I'm just gonna get this out of the way here so I can get you guys to see a little bit better. So now, with this, my bird just like that here, and it's all kind of coated and slathered with deliciousness. The next thing that I do is I take some bacon, like maybe 4 or 5 slices, and what I do is I put it on the bird. So for example, I'll take 1 slice and I'll put it on the drumstick. Another slice I'll put on the other side, just like that. Oh, is that 2 slices? Shit, ooh, sorry. I think that might be 2 slices here. Yep, so I'm just gonna put this over it just like that. It's not gonna look the prettiest right now, but it's gonna taste freaking awesome, let me tell you. So, and this just doll up the breast plate just like this here. So basically this fat from the bacon will actually render down as it cooks, and it'll also add a smokiness to our bird as well. Now, I'm also gonna take my wings, the wing tips, and I'm just gonna put them underneath. You may hear a little crack, don't get grossed out. That's just the wing breaking, and that's fine. So perfect, just like that. Tuck that in. Bring this in nice and close. Perfect. And the next thing we're gonna do is tent. Put a little piece of aluminum foil over the breast part, depending on how you cook this, but I just tent the whole thing for the first maybe couple of hours just to get it cooking from the inside. As well, what I like to do is I have some clementines here, clementines, and I stuff the cavity with the clementines. A lot of people will do lemon, a lot of people will do citrus like oranges or whatever. Clementines will work. Just stuff those in there so that's 2 clementines halved. So now, as I'm about to tent my bird, I will tell you, preheat your oven 325 degrees and just let it go steady. Don't worry about some people when they say blast it to 500, 550, and when you put your bird in, bring it down to 325. Cooking a turkey is a marathon. It's not a race. What you want to do is just go low, slow, and steady. So I got one piece. I'm going to tent it here. Just like that. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You just don't want your turkey to basically get like overcooked. Do that here, just like that. And that's perfect. And there you go. Now, this is a 15-16 pound bird. This will go into my 325 degree oven for about 3.5 hours, give or take. 3 hours, 3.5, 3 hours and 45 minutes. At the 2 hour mark is when you want to untent it and let it kind of cook off on its own so it'll get that brown, crispy deliciousness on the outside. When this is done, I'll be back and I'll show you how it turned out. All right, so now it's been about 4 hours and 15 minutes, give or take, and our bird, as you can see, is done to perfection. Well, perfection for me anyway. I prefer my turkey a little more on the well done side, but doneness is something that is totally up to you. So basically for this, our bird is cooked for about 3.5 hours or so and allowed to rest, which is absolutely vital, for another 45 minutes. After which, now we're going to start the carving process. I will tell you in advance before you actually see this, I'm not really a pro at carving, but I will do my best to show you. The first thing I do is actually separate and cut up the breast. The breast in itself, I just use the breastbone as a guide to kind of move on down the back of the turkey, as you can see here. And from there, I just move along horizontally at the base of the breast. Once you cut it in horizontally from the bottom, you'll find that the breast will actually come apart and fall apart on its own, which is exactly what we want. From here, you could actually now start actually slicing up your turkey breast into the number of servings or pieces you want. I don't like these little itty bitty thin little slivery pieces. I like substantial portions, so my slices are closer to about 1 inch to 3/4 of an inch thick. And we continue doing that until our breast is completely cut up or portioned, and then we continue on with the drumstick. And the drumstick, again, as a general rule of thumb, basically we just have it as it falls off. The easier it comes off, the more well done it is, or the better it is. You remove the cartilage from the bottom, separate it, and we move on to the next one. And again, the same thing on the other side, as you can see here. Well, not so clearly, unfortunately, it's out of camera range, but you just basically do the same thing on the other side with the breast and the drumstick. So from there, that is our little, or my little turkey video today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And until next time, please keep watching, hit the like button, subscribe. I'm Ken. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.